Hi, today I'm explaining about basics of design. Yesterday, I explained you color theory. Okay, so the same way, the next the theory part is basics of design. Okay, so this is also very important. So how to create designs and what are the principles, what are the elements, rules and regulations. Okay, so here we learn all these things. Yeah, first of all, check this. So design is a composition of various elements from fundamentals of art. Design is a scene of putting or keeping things together with the help of visual aesthetics. Okay, actually, the definition, what is design actually? So design means, suppose in a particular given area, okay, so you must be there is a border. Okay, so within that area, by using these the fundamentals of art and elements, okay, from that you can keep the things togetherly, and if you arrange them beautifully, decoratively, okay, with the help of visual aesthetics. Okay, visual aesthetics means what? By seeing your design must be attractive, you have to arrange, you can decorate, okay, with good appeal and appearance. Okay, so you can combine them within the given area. Okay, that can be a design. Okay, so if you see uh, the other things, so design consists of basic elements and principles used to visually communicate a desired message to a target audience. These are called the elements and principles of design. Okay, so here this design must communicate with the people. Okay, with the audience. Okay, so target audience, target people. So there are called the elements and principles of design. So to decorate your design beautifully, you can you have to use these elements and principles of design. So what are these? We'll check. So designers use a process of stages from start to finish of a creation of a composition. This process is called the design process. Each message of a design serves a purpose to educate, persuade or inform the viewer. Okay, so compulsory you must have to design, compose your ideas to give the message of particular audience, particular people, okay, or otherwise inform to the viewer, okay, something, or otherwise you have to educate something. So without doing anything, without educating, without giving any information, without giving any message, your design can be a waste. Okay, so with your designs you have to share the message or information or educate the viewer or particular people or audience. Okay, so that is the main motto of the design. Here design process elements, okay, principles. So design process, the design process, step by step design process. Here first one is research. Okay, second thumbnails, roughs, comprehensive, presentation and final. Okay, so in research generally you have to think about your idea. Okay, you have to suppose you are planning a logo. Okay, first without opening your software, without doing anything with your software tools, so first sketch on paper with pencil how your logo can be, how you want modify your logo, and how many colors you are giving into logo. You can check all these things, and what is the company background, what is the motto of the company, and what they are going to sell their products. So what are the things they are explaining to the people. So these things you can research yourselves. After researching only you can make the thumbnails. So thumbnails means with the thumb size small drawings. So thumbnails means with your thumb, okay, size drawings if you draw, that can be a thumbnails. Within thumbnails you draw your mental pictures, okay, related to your research work. Okay, from the research work already you get an idea, okay, so related to those ideas you make some thumbnails. Thumbnails means rough scribbly drawings, sketches, okay. So as many as possible. You don't know how many things will come, so draw one thing. So suppose you don't like that, draw another one. That also you cannot you don't like that, you can draw many as many, and from that choose few things, few, one or two or five, okay, that can be your the final roughs. Okay, from final roughs what you do in comprehensive state, so you can enlarge them, you can use them as a reference, and you can make it into presentation. So this stage, presentation stage, you can convert, you can enlarge your designs into actual size, and you can submit to those designs to client, your customer, okay, and get the feedback from the customer. Suppose he wants particular fonts or otherwise particular colors, and any some corrections, if you want to add, let them allow, okay. After adding all the corrections, so your design will be final, okay. The same design you can sending for the printing, okay. That is actually the process of a design, any design, okay. Next, in design elements, actually about elements I'm telling, the design elements means here a line, okay. So line can be like a straight line, curved line, wavy line, zigzag, diagonal, horizontal, dotted, or dashed. It can be any line, okay. You draw line on that, and it can be any kind of line, okay. And shape means the form of an object. The basic shapes that objects are circle, square, triangle, rectangle, oval. So these are the shapes. So you can draw whatever the shapes you draw, it can be your shapes. That is very important. Then a form means three-dimensional. So three-dimensional has your height, width, and depth, okay. Height, width, and depth, if you add, it can be a three-dimensional. That can be a form. The texture means here the look and feel of an object surface. So texture, so suppose if you touch some brochures or any costly or expensive corporate brochures and their folders, their logos and their whatever the important elements, that can be embossed. So that means if you touch them, their logo can be, you can feel, and you can feel that a surface with your a finger touch. So that can be a texture, the look and feel of an object surface. Then the value. So value means lightness and darkness of an object, okay. So this already we discussed in color theory, lightness and darkness of an object. And space, here space means two-dimensional. Space has two-dimensional only. So two-dimension means height and width. There is no depth, z-axis. So x, y only. So x width, y is height, okay. There is no z-axis, but in 3D x, y, z form, in three-dimensional x, y, z is there, but here only x and y, okay. Next to color, here hue, saturation, and value. So yesterday clearly we discussed about this, about a hue and saturation and value, okay. So then come to here the design principles. Yes, these are very important. So design elements and design principles are really very important, okay. Let us check one by one. So if you want to make a design on brochure or catalog, folder, pamphlet or logo, whatever the poster or banner, hoarding or any kind of design, there are some principles you have to follow. That is very important. So blindly never do your designs. Okay, so let us check. So first one is balance, second unity, contrast, proportion, rhythm, pattern and emphasis. Okay, first balance. In balance also we have three kind of balance are there: symmetrical balance, asymmetrical balance and radial balance. Okay, I'll explain one by one again clearly. Next, unity. So unity means togetherness of a composition to create a whole. Okay, so contrast, difference between lightness and darkness. Proportion, size relationship of objects. Okay, and rhythm, an organized repetition to create the feeling of movement. Understand it? Pattern, a repetition of visual elements. Okay, here I'm explaining once again about balance. So what is balance? Actually, balance is a composition of placement of elements of design as a forms, figures or colors in such a manner as to produce aesthetically pleasing and harmoniously integrated whole. Okay, so we know very well about balance. Suppose weight balance. Okay, you can visit in market, there you are purchasing some potatoes or onions, so he'll give the maintain the balance according to your weight. Suppose you are asking 1 kilo of onions, then 1 kilo weight he'll keep one side and your vegetables or onion they'll keep other side, equally balance and he'll give it to you. So that is the weight balance. Here it is a visual balance. In visual balance, the same thing we do with your forms, figures, colors. Okay, in such a manner you can arrange, you can design, you can arrange, design or compose. Okay, harmoniously integrated whole. That is a balance. Here symmetry. Yes, I told you balance, you have three kind of balance are there. In that, the first one is symmetry balance. Symmetrical balance is also called formal balance because a formula will use. Here if you check here, there is a formal balance. That means what? There is a center line. If you divide this whole design equally into two parts, suppose if you draw one straight line, okay, vertically that line can divide this design into two equal portions. That means your left and right sides, or otherwise your right to left sides, equally you are sharing your elements. Okay, so that means it is in symmetrical balance. It is a symmetrical balance. Or otherwise, one formula we are using, systematically we are doing this. That is the reason we can say it is a formula balance, or otherwise symmetrical balance. Here asymmetry, not identical on both sides of a central line, unsymmetrical, lacking symmetry. Most faces are asymmetric. When the left and right sides of the design are unequal, it is said to have asymmetrical balance. Okay, here in this you cannot divide into two equal parts. You can place anywhere in your area, so it can be asymmetric. Okay, you are not arranging them equally or in a systematic way. Okay, so this is asymmetrical design. And here radial design. So radial means here lines and shapes are mirrored both vertically and horizontally, with the center of the composition acting as a focal point. Here, lines and shapes. Here, lines and shapes mirrored both vertically and horizontally. Here, this is horizontal line and this is vertical line. So you can dividing this into horizontally and vertically, with the center of the composition acting as a focal point. Center of the composition is this is acting as a focal point. Focal point means the main concentration, emphasis. Okay, the main focalness we are concentrating on here. But here your lines and shapes mirrored. So mirrored means what? Suppose the reflection, like, see this part reflecting here, this part reflecting here, this part reflecting here. So if you arrange them, your areas, your elements in this kind, that can be a radial symmetry. Next is unity. Unity means what? Togetherness of a composition to create a whole. So here we are creating the togetherness. Okay, we are saying as unity. Yeah, we all. So for example, if you take any logo on this design principle, let us say that artist Mazdoor unions, okay, their logo symbol, all the employees, their hands, so they're arranging togetherly and they're showing their strength and stamina, okay, in their logo. So that is a unity based design. In the same way, if you take another example, so Swachh Bharat logo, all the people, Indians, togetherly all there holding their hands and make a round. Okay, so they're making round and holding their hands, they're showing their unity, we are one. Okay, so it is involved, and the unity principle involved in that design. Then the contrast. Here, difference between lightness and darkness. Most people think of contrast only as it applies to colors, but contrast can work with any design element. For example, if you have a group of lines that are all the same size, there is no contrast. But if one is a lot longer than the others, it contracts with them. So we know contrast means opposite. Here suppose see red color is there, so red opposite to black, so black opposite to white. Okay, we know this is a regular contrast. But not only this, so contrast means between opposite colors, not only between opposite colors. You can add some lines, shapes, textures and curves you can include in your design, and that also can create the contrastness. So that is it. Here proportion. The proportion means what? A size relationship between objects. Here proportion is a design principle that has to do with the relationship between size and scale. Okay, the proportion in art is the comparative harmonious relationship between two or more elements in a composition with respect to size, color, quantity, degree, setting, etc. and ratio. Yes, generally we use this word in art anatomy classes and art classes and photography, wherever in all the areas we use proportion word. So suppose in your drawing sketch, the human sketch, your head should not be very bigger than your whole body. Okay, and your the hand should not be very shorter to comparing with the whole body. That means you have to adjust the proportion, you have to make them into proportion. Proportionately you have to arrange them. Okay, so proportion means what? Simply size relationship between objects or shapes. Then here rhythm, an organized repetition to create the feeling of movement. There are many different kinds of rhythm. So rhythm means what? Generally an organized repetition to create the feeling of movement. So in regular rhythm occurs when the intervals between the elements, and often the elements themselves, are similar in size or length. Suppose see, there are a circle and again one circle, one more circle, 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 circle. That means what? There is a feeling of movement. Circle can create the rotations. So suppose it is like rotating, it is creating the impact, the circle one by one, within that, if you arrange them, it is creating the feeling of movement. Okay, that is called a regular rhythm. And here flowing rhythm, a flowing gives a sense of movement and is often more organic in nature. See this, a flowing gives a sense of movement and is often more organic in nature. Okay, so this is also rhythm, but it must be into flow. So flowing, suppose like liquidity, suppose raindrops falling on window, so they're dropping, we are dragging to down and making curves and flowing to down. So that is what that is also feeling of movement too, but it is in a flow. Okay, it is creating the flow movement. In the same way, blood stains, water drops, oil drops, any liquid things can create the flowing of movement. Okay, this is one kind of a rhythm, flowing rhythm. And here the progressive rhythm, progressiveness. A progressive rhythm shows a sequence of forms to a progression of steps. Okay, so progressiveness here we have to maintain. Progressiveness means what? Size wise improvement, smaller, okay, and bit bigger and bigger, more bigger and biggest. If you arrange them in your design, it can be a progressive rhythm. Suppose here see, there is a small step and bigger, and suppose bigger. So it's not related to one size. Size wise here we are showing the difference. If you maintain this in your design, that can be a progressive design. And here pattern design. So patterns means here a repetition of visual elements by lines, forms, shapes, color, textures. So patterns means what? If you draw one shape and curve and you can maintain them, the entire object, entire area repeatedly, it can be a pattern of that. Okay, see, pattern designs generally we use in textile industry. Okay, the textile industry, suppose garments, ladies garments and gents garments, they use floral designs and some shapes, curves, then maintain the one shape they create, and they can multiply the same throughout the sari, okay, or throughout the chudidar or dress. Okay, that can be a pattern design. So widely we use this in textile industry. Okay, the naturally formed patterns here. So the cheetah and giraffe and the zebra, these are having their own patterns. Okay, so this is called the pattern design. And here emphasis means the focal point and main important area. So main concentration or center of interest by color dominance, value contrast, a visual movement, difference and shape. So suppose in your design you can arrange it nicely, proportionately, everything harmoniously. Okay, you can arrange them, but your main focus, main center of interest, main concentration, somewhere you are by giving your shape or color, you are showing your main concentration particularly from anywhere in your design. That can be your focal area, emphasis, the main concentration. Public, if they see your design, no? So because of your focal point is there, immediately they'll attract to that area, and slowly they'll move their eyes to the whole entire design. That is emphasis, focal main concentration of the design. Okay. These are simple design principles. So these are very, very important as a designer, as an artist. You have to understand them. Okay, so you can read and practice them, and in works, assignments, the same thing we apply practically. Okay, thank you.